Do you 3D print? If so, what do you print? Stay tuned. Hey everybody. It's been busy. And Merry Christmas to everybody. I know it's past Christmas now. It's almost be saying Happy New Year. But I hope everyone had a great Christmas. I know we did. Kids got spoiled. I got some cool 3D printing stuff. Along with a new 3D printer actually. But more so 3D printing, reusable 3D printing bags by Elegoo. These use a little vacuum sealer, which is actually right here. This little baby right here. It's not what you think, but it sucks the air out of the bag, obviously, through this little spot right here. And makes it so your bag, all your filament is vacuum sealed. That way, yeah, you can keep all your filament and goodies looking nice. And I obviously keep the little moisture helper packet in my filament. So, yeah. But that was a cool gift. That was from my wife, and the printer was, I've had enough of the Elegoo. Nothing on those, I love those, but I had enough of the Elegoo Neptune 4 Pro. That's what I had before, and in my opinion that thing does not like to stay level. I had constant issues with it, and so I decided to give a shot. Give the FlashForge Adventure 5M a shot. This thing's cool. It's auto leveling. It does everything. I've been printing like crazy for the past number of days. Pretty much the day after I got it, I started printing all sorts of stuff. But I'll put a link in the description to that machine, which is either on their website or Amazon, which is where I got it. I know everybody loves bamboo, but to get what this is in a bamboo, I was looking, getting upwards of $1,000, and I just didn't really want to spend that. This was $3.99 on sale, so regular $5 something. So I picked this thing up and I'm so happy with it. It is just tickled pink. I don't think I actually really printed this much stuff with the Elegoo. Like I probably did. I printed more things in a sense, but maybe not. Which is actually what we're going to get to in this video. By the way, next video I will announce, even though the winners already know, but I will announce who the winners were for the banners and everything, just so everyone knows. And I'll probably do some other stuff in that video too. I'll just kind of make it a bench video, but I'll announce who the winners were. That way you're not guessing or whatever. There wasn't a lot of people that entered, I get it. It's nothing fancy, but 3 people won, so we'll go from there. But what I've been focusing on 3D printing, other than random blocks and little articulated animals. I did a dog for my daughter, which is God knows where now, and I did a cat for our son, who's he loves cats. So we can't have cats, but he loves cats. So, and I printed all sorts of random things. Printed my wife a couple things. I printed one of these guys. If anybody knows, you know, but it's a 10mm socket buddy. He's got little articulating legs. 10mm sockets really do have legs. They run off, man. But one cool thing about the printer is it came with this really cool, it's like a burnt titanium. And I just used almost the last of it. I don't get very much, as always. But, yeah, so I was printing all sorts of random stuff. You know how it is. Also, I'm supposed to be wearing my team jersey, and daughter's going to bed. Anyway, and I totally forgot to grab some clothes out of our thing. So I'm just wearing a normal shirt, but I'm still rocking the NSDRC hoodie. So, if you need servos, plug there. Anyway, what I've been doing. I've printed a few pieces on this already. Let's see if I kept. I did. Actually, I'll start with this. So, the one thing I liked about this machine is I'm actually able to print like multiple pieces at the same time. The Elegoo would not do that. It just would not do it. This thing, no problem. So these and the motor mounts, because they weren't an issue, were all printed at the same time. This is default settings, so I'm not going crazy with the settings yet. But you know what? It does a nice job. The printer's happy. That's all that counts. So this is the header. You have the exhaust part here. Then you have the intake tube is what he calls it, which is technically what it is, for sure. That comes over, and then there's an air filter that pops over here, so it kind of sticks out of the cage there. Then this mounts to the cab. But I wasn't paying attention to some screws I actually had kicking around, so I actually ended up drilling out this one here for a 2.5mm head screw. So instead of just the you could use Injora, doesn't matter, but I was using Vanquish hex hardware for the rings, the beadlock rings. And so I had that one there, but I didn't realize I had some longer ones from my old Pro builds that actually would have gone all the way through these three pieces. And so once I realized it, I was like, you know what, I'm going to redo that because I don't like how there's one random big screw there. It looked kind of hokey. But I kept that because, why not? And you would have seen this in the thumbnail, but this is how the motor came out. So you have these engine mounts right here. They can, they'll bend to where I need them to bolt it on. These bolt into the piece right here. The bottom, I stripped out a couple little spots, but it's okay. Not a biggie. The oil pan screws on to the block, which is this middle piece. So I did the oil pan, the block, and the air intake all together. There's the nice air intake there. And you can actually run a screw through this, but it clips right, it just goes right in there. Everything's nice, so I'm not really going to worry about screwing that together. So those three pieces were actually done all in one print. And then, as you saw with the other pieces, here's the exhaust, the header, and then I did the pulley, which screws on to the front of the engine, and the engine mounts all together. So I'm definitely, like this printer is just, it's working and I love it. It's making some really nice prints. And then the head, the valve cover I did in the purple. I actually did the air cleaner in that color too, but I'll get to that in a second. It actually takes for the Vanquish axles. Normally you'd put a red one on. I didn't have a spare red one, so I just hot glued a little bit of dab of hot glue inside of here, nice hole, and you just put the oil filler cap that would go on the back of a diff, an F10, the F10s, the H10, and the F10T. Yeah, so any of the 10s have that valve. I think even some of the F9s maybe, but they have that filler cap. You just put that on there, so it looks like you have your little oil filler cap there. But there's, again, the front. I love this purple. It's like a burnt steel look to me. But I absolutely love this color. The Phoenix has the Harley Designs 2JZ motor cover, and I took out some of the color in the body so that you could actually see down into the body, and you see the 2JZ valve cover. So there's that here. This is a nice, it's a 4-cylinder. But then we'll get to these part. So this here and this screws into here with a nice long, I can't remember the size of it, but it's the 1.5 millimeter head long screw. They come with the Pro builds, so they're actually the screws you use to get the ring or the rim started sandwiching together. I have some of those kicking around, so I use 2 in here. There's actually 2 in the top of this too, just to kind of help get things started and down and secured and blah 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 blah. But as you can see, like I was showing, the screw goes into the top there, and it screws actually into right here in the middle of this. The hole screws right in, so it fits in super nice. But these 2 pieces are that burnt titanium that I was talking about that the FlashForge comes with. I still have very little left. Probably enough to do another one of these if I had to, but I don't, so I'm not going to. And obviously, there's a little WCC lettering there, and then you have the lettering here, and then right there. But this is such a cool motor. This is actually jerseyscaler. He is on Cults 3D, and he's the same guy who did these. So for reasons don't worry about, I actually in 3D in CAD I trimmed. Normally this would go all the way down to have a big tubular mounting system. I took it out on both of them just the way I had it mounted in the back of the truck. I didn't need those on there. But he did the Honda. He did the Honda first. And then he did this one here. So you can kind of see where he was going. He was starting to get the idea of like the bent tube exhaust that kind of goes into a pipe and stuff. You can see where he was going with a lot of that. Yeah, and again, there's that little bit of purple air filter there. But I've kept these because I really liked him. He does really cool work with all of this. These actually used set screws for pinion gears as just a detail. Before he actually realized I could use, like you saw on that, there's the 5 screws, 6 screws, 1, 2, 3, 4, I think there's 5 there that actually hold the valve cover down. There's those, we'll just stick those back here for now. Actually, on that note, he messaged me this morning showing me something. So it definitely bugged me when I saw it. I was kind of put off that you know, we all love AliExpress. You know, we've all bought things from there. Actually, I think I've only ever bought one thing from there, and ironically, it was a shirt for my wife. It was free, so I didn't even pay for it. Like, I got it for free, so whatever. They took his files, and you can buy these, either this one or this one. It's the exact same motor. It says Honda, everything. They took his files. They obviously print them in whatever factory they have, and they're selling them. They're like $40-something. See, you know, you can look at it in two different ways. Typical China, blah blah blah, copying and everything else, which is kind of the way I was looking. And then I chuckled and I was like, well, I mean, it's cool that your design is that noticed. Like, it's actually it's getting places. Just the wrong people, which he found funny. But like, it was something I really struggled with. I'm still struggling with it. Like, it's cool that, you know, it's like, hey, wow, my designs are being mass produced now. But you have to look at it also. These are his designs. These are his. He's not getting anything from that whole AliExpress thing. And there's nothing we can do. So, please do not go to AliExpress and buy those. Just, please don't. I think you can contact anybody, people on Cults. If you know somebody with a 3D printer, or even contact God, I'm brain dead. JerseyScaler on Instagram. He can maybe help you out with printing something. I don't know. Maybe even I can. Right now, the prints are free. He's actually, for this engine, this is for a VS410 Optic. I'll show you how it mounts in a second. But this engine is for an Optic, just like the other two. It sits in the back of the cage, so it makes it look like you have an engine. This is much more of a realistic looking engine than the other two. He made them, initially you had to pay for them. No problem. It was like $5 Canadian. Even those ones, same thing. They're very little. And since the holidays, he made them free, and he's now considering to just leave it free. So if you have a 3D printer and you're wanting to 3D print a nice engine for the back of your Optic, other than, you know, the LS cover that you can get at Night Customs, which there's nothing wrong with. I just like an engine in the back. I like the way it looks. It's, you know, a little more scale in a sense, or it's a proper engine looking engine. Go to Cults 3D, look up JerseyScaler, even just Vanquish VS410 or Vanquish H10 Optic in the search bar. All the stuff will come up. You'll see, I think you'll see the Honda or whatever. You'll see a couple things. Click on that. Click on his profile, and it'll show you all the stuff that he's made for Cults. And you will see this engine. It is free. Download the files and just print one yourself. I really, like, so you're getting all angry about it or whatever. I think the best way to just put it is support the designers who actually made these parts. So, Joe, JerseyScaler, he's a really cool guy. He's doing some really cool prints. He's like, everyone he's doing, every design, it's better each and every time, like you can see with these. You know, you can see where he started, which was this one. Then he went to this one. And now he's at this one here, which is just super cool. But enough of that. I will show you how I have to take this part out here. I was using that so it kind of looked like there was a bottom of an engine. But how this would mount in. So you have your plates here, right? Your number plates. Like I have logos on them. You unscrew those from the inside, I believe. Yes. And you run the screws all the way through with the engine mounts. So the engine literally just mounts to this side of the frame, right here. I think you can see that. These two screws here that hold this together. And then the engine will just sit a little bit further down, but it'll sit sort of like that, you know, give or take. I'm actually just going to leave it in there for now. Just leave that like that. My scale palette can go back. Now, as for the optic, I buggered up the brass knuckles, so those are no longer on there. I buggered up one, I should say. I'm not even going to look for it. It's gone somewhere. I have something cool in the mail. I think it's still cool. I don't care what other people say. And then I have a new design in the works. It's going to be for this build. And I'll turn it into some stickers too. So the optic's kind of being shuffled to the side, sort of, until this item comes in. I also have to wait on links because I had to snap a link to get the steering knuckle apart. The brass one. So those are in the mail too, just the plastic, two plastic steering links on the side. But yeah, so the optic is kind of the project at the moment. We got to finish a few things on the BFG Zoku BFG, whatever we're gonna call it. The Forerunners. Yeah, I'll talk about all that stuff in the next video. Anyway, everybody, I hope you guys have a fantastic New Year's and 2025, the year of some cool stuff. Anyway, everybody, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. As always, check out NSDRC for all your servo needs. I love them, so you should love them. But again, like, comment, subscribe, and all the links for everything in this video will be in the description. And we'll see you in the next video. Peace out, everybody.